Here's a driver swing analysis of Jake Knapp, who just shot 59 on the PGA Tour event last week, and he is one of the longer hitters on the PGA Tour. So I'm going to break down how he generates that much speed using the Sportsbox data. So we have his 2D video from Face On the left, his 3D avatar on the right, and I have 3 trackers turned on. I have his pelvis and chest turn, so I have his turns, I have his lead wrist angle, and I have his lead knee flexion. So first, let's take a look at how he's generating speed with his body turn. One of the things we look at in the body is how much difference do you have in the pelvis turn versus the chest turn, which creates a lot of stretch through your core where you can generate some speed in your swing from that stretch. So I'm going to go to the views and I'm going to look at him from above. And if we take a look here as I roll through his swing, take a look at those yellow bars that are indicating the turn of the chest and the turn of the pelvis. Here he is at the top of the swing at 41 degrees of pelvis rotation and in an unbelievable 108 degrees of rotation of his chest, which creates a tremendous amount of separation between the turn of his pelvis and his chest. So that's one way that he is adding a lot of speed into his system and into his swing. So let's go back to that face-on view now and take a look at the next metric I pulled up. We have his lead wrist angle. So at address, he's got 138 degrees of lead wrist angle. As I work my way through, you're going to see that number decrease. So at the top of the swing, he's at about 80, 81 degrees. Now, where he really is able to amplify this wrist angle and create more leverage is what does he do from here? Does that angle decrease more and create more lag, or does it start to go away and increase? Well, if we start to roll him into his downswing, we can see he was at 81, and he gets it all the way down to 72 degrees. So he increases that angle or decreases that angle by another about 10 degrees, which is giving him extra leverage to then release later in his downswing, in his release, through the impact portion of his swing. Now, the last metric that we look at is how is he using the ground? So if I take him back to address, we look at that lead knee flexion. How is he using that lead side to push into the ground to create some vertical forces in his swing? So he starts at 158 degrees of lead knee flexion. As we work our way, we're going to see that number decrease. And that means he's creating more flexion as he works his way into that lead side. Now we're going to start to see that number increase. And when he gets to impact, he's at 165 degrees. So he has extended that lead knee 20 or so degrees from the maximum amount of flexion that he had in the downswing, which is creating that leverage with the ground. And he's able to use that even more to create force from the ground and amplify the speed that he's generating with the club head. So this is that pro analysis on Jake Knapp, who just shot 59 on the PGA Tour. We looked at his turns and how he's creating speed with his body. We looked at how he's creating speed through his lead wrist angle and how he's creating speed from the ground through that lead knee flexion. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and subscribe to Sportsbox AI. Comment any questions that you may have. We'd be happy to answer those. And go ahead onto the App Store and download the app so that you can get an analysis just like this on your own swing.